This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaiser Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good morning and welcome to this morning's newscast on Kaiser Radio. Kevin Smith here. These are the top stories we are tracking. Government fails to publish Redford's pay-hour review 3 months after promising to do so. Minister Barrett denies government rehired controversial Canadian Alison Redford, and ExxonMobil plans 3-well campaign on suspiciously awarded Kanji block. Meanwhile, ExxonMobil makes pledge to reduce its global emissions output by 2025, but continues to pollute local airspace with hundreds of toxic chemicals in the meantime. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Reset, renew, and refresh with Harris Paints. Shop now and get 10% off select Ultima Plus paints. When you spend over $10,000, dip to win accessories and your share of $325,000 in cash. You can also win the grand prizes of 2-bedroom makeovers with free color consultation and a vanity, or a living room makeover with free color consultation and a 40-inch smart TV. Reset, renew, and refresh with Harris Paints.
To change your world, Christmas with Harris.
Kaiser Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burbies 99.5 FM. Kaiser Radio.
And now for the news in detail. After promising transparency in its management of Guyana's oil and gas sector, the government is neglecting a key aspect of that mandate: the release of the $9 billion pay-hour project review done by controversial Canadian consultant Alison Redford. Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Barrett promised that the findings of the review would be made public in September, weeks before the government approved the pay-hour field development plan submitted by ExxonMobil. Redford, an ex-politician, resigned from her post as Premier of Alberta, Canada, in 2014 for inappropriately spending Canada's tax dollars. She was also found to have benefited from money donated to her former political party by an ExxonMobil subsidiary of Canada called Imperial Oil. Redford's team completed its review in 6 weeks. Meanwhile, in related news, Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Barrett on Sunday denied that the government of Guyana has rehired the same controversial Canadian consultant Alison Redford to do additional work. We reached out to the minister after another media entity quoted former Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana Lillian Chatterjee as saying that the government hired Redford for technical assistance in the oil and gas sector based on Canada's recommendation. Barrett said that the report is not true. We also reached out to Chatterjee on Sunday, but the former envoy to Guyana did not offer a comment. She had already left Guyana. Vice President Bharat Jagdeo could not be reached. Prime Minister Mark Phillips referred us to Minister Barrett. And moving on, even as it continues to lay the groundwork for 2 critical projects to pump thousands of barrels of oil out of the Stabroek Block, ExxonMobil still remains laser-focused on executing an aggressive exploration campaign for its other offshore concession called Kanji. In fact, Exxon has already begun spudding the Bulletwood 1 prospect, which is reported to have a channel complex that is similar to the Liza geology in the Stabroek concession. This prospect will target approximately 500 million barrels of oil equivalent resources. And now let's tell you one of the industry's biggest contributors to greenhouse gases, ExxonMobil, announced yesterday that it will be rolling out a plan to reduce the intensity of its upstream gas emissions by 15 to 20%. ExxonMobil said that it would be able to achieve this by 2025. It went on to say that this will be supported by a 40 to 50% decrease in methane intensity and a 35 to 45% decrease in flaring intensity across its global operations. Further to this, the company said it plans to align its operations with the World Bank's initiative to eliminate routine flaring by 2030. Even as the company notes its intentions to reduce emissions, its actions offshore Guyana send a completely different message to local and international stakeholders about its interest in protecting the environment. In other news, according to former Minister of Natural Resources Raffle Trotman, the Munishwar's shore base erected at Houston is unable to supply the needs for Liza Phase 1. He had also noted Munishwar's shore base is already at its capacity, and for this, Trotman had indicated that the APNU-AFC had initiated the process of scouting other locations which could also serve as shore bases. Notably, former Trinidad and Tobago Minister of Energy Kevin Ramnarine had noted that Guyana is expected to have 5 oil vessels in the next 5 years, and that the shore-based demands that these oil ships will need is expected to be significant. And moving on, the misconduct in public office charges against Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh and head of the Gas to Shore Task Force, Winston Brassington, yesterday had charges withdrawn against them. They were charged on May 8, 2018 for allegedly selling state lands without first obtaining a valuation and selling the lands way below their value under the Barrett-Jagdeo administration. When the matter was called in Georgetown Magistrates Court before Chief Magistrate Anne McLennan, the SOCU Special Prosecutor, informed the court that the organization no longer wishes to proceed with the charges against the two officials. As such, 6 charges were withdrawn against Singh and Brassington. Let's tell you now that the police and the Child Care and Protection Agency, or CPA, are investigating an incident where a 6-year-old girl from Good Bananen Land, East Kanji Berbice, was found unconscious in swampy mud. The police confirmed their investigation in a press release issued yesterday, while CPA Director Anne Green informed us that her agency would be liaising with the police force. However, the CPA will only be examining the protection of the child based on the findings. The child is currently undergoing treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital. And finally, let's tell you a 72-year-old man from Region 10 has been recorded as Guyana's 156th COVID-19 death. 23 newly recorded COVID-19 cases pushes the total number of confirmed cases to 5,943. 657 persons are in approved home isolation, 45 are in institutional isolation, 22 are in the institutional quarantine, and 8 are in the ICU at the Liliendahl Infectious Disease Hospital.
And that's the news of the moment. Remember, to get the full details of these stories, pick up a copy of the Kite News. And don't forget, you can catch us on the MyTuner app as well as the Radio Garden app. You can also keep up to date by liking our Facebook page at Kite Radio and subscribing to our YouTube channel, Kite Radio Livestream. Oh, also catch our stream at www.kitenewsonline.com/radio.